Hey, welcome to a new video. Imagine being your own twin. Sounds impossible, right? Not for Taylor Mule. This singer and model from California has a condition so rare that most people have never heard of it. Chimerism. Taylor absorbed her fraternal twin sister in the womb. Her body contains 2 sets of DNA, 2 immune systems, and even 2 blood types, making her literally 2 people in one. The first clue was a straight line running down her torso, separating 2 distinct skin tones. For years, doctors thought it was just a birthmark, until a genetic test in 2009 revealed that Taylor is a human chimera. Her vanished sister's DNA lives on inside her, and some of her organs may even belong genetically to her twin. Taylor's immune system constantly battles itself, sometimes attacking her own cells as if they were foreign. She struggled for years with chronic health issues, sensitivities, and autoimmune reactions. But instead of hiding, she stepped into the spotlight. She now uses her platform to raise awareness about chimerism and challenge traditional beauty standards. With only about 100 documented cases worldwide, Taylor truly is 1 in a million, maybe even 1 in a billion.
Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video.
Most of us panic after 5 minutes without our phone, but Dejana Simmons lived 118 days without a heart. In 2008, this 14-year-old girl from South Carolina made medical history by surviving nearly 4 months without a functioning heart, thanks to a temporary artificial blood pumping system. Dejana suffered from dilated cardiomyopathy, a condition that weakens the heart's ability to pump blood. Her heart was removed during a transplant, but the donor heart failed. Doctors took a bold step and implanted 2 mechanical pumps that kept her blood flowing, without an actual heart inside her chest. Her body relied entirely on battery-powered tubes. For those 118 days, Dejana couldn't breathe, eat, or walk on her own. But her spirit remained unbroken. She stayed hopeful and strong until a second transplant finally succeeded. Doctors called her condition unprecedented and dubbed her a walking miracle. Her recovery pushed the limits of artificial heart technology in pediatric care. While her peers were stressing about homework or crushes, Dejana redefined what the human body is capable of. Ever heard the saying, lightning never strikes twice? Tell that to Beth Peterson. This Minnesota woman was struck by lightning not once, but twice, and lived to tell the tale. Statistically, the odds of being struck once are about 1 in 15,000. But twice? That's a cosmic lottery. Beth was first hit in 1992 while standing under a tree during a storm. She blacked out and remembers little of the event. The second time, years later, she was standing by an open window when lightning came through the screen and struck her again. Both times left her with physical and neurological symptoms, including memory loss, muscle spasms, and migraines. But perhaps the most lasting effect was psychological. She developed a deep respect and rightful fear for nature's power. Her story made national headlines not only for its rarity, but for its bizarre twist of fate. She later joined the Lightning Strike and Electric Shock Survivors International Group, where her tale became legendary. If your grandma ever warned that too many tattoos would cause problems, she probably hadn't met Esperanza Burnzina. This Argentine woman is known as the most tattooed woman in the world, having turned her entire body into a living canvas. Over 98% of her skin is covered in ink, earning her a Guinness World Record. Her journey began in the 1980s, when body art on women was still taboo in Argentina. She faced criticism, rejection, and even job loss. But she never gave up. Today she has thousands of tattoos, including facial and scalp designs, intricate body art, and symbols that tell her life story. She spent over 2,000 hours under the needle and has been inked by artists from more than 30 countries. But Esperanza's story isn't about shock value. It's about self-expression, strength, and going against the grain. In interviews, she says each new tattoo helps her feel more like herself. She challenges beauty standards, ageism, and gender expectations. By normalizing tattoo culture, especially for women and older people, Esperanza proves that true beauty knows no rules, and the body itself can be the most powerful work of art. Florence Baitio is a model of South Sudanese descent who grew up in a refugee camp in Uganda. At age 7, her family relocated to Perth, Australia. She gained online fame for her strikingly dark skin, which can appear almost purple in certain lighting. Though social media has dubbed her the darkest skin in the world, there's no official record for that title. Florence shares her life on Instagram and TikTok under the name 100% Dark Coco. She's now approaching 1 million followers and draws attention with makeup tutorials, fashion shoots, and messages of self-love. She has worked with brands like Chanel Beauty, appeared in editorials for Tank magazine, and is signed with agencies in both London and Melbourne. In interviews, Florence speaks openly about facing racism, eating disorders, and body image struggles. After years of insecurity, she chose to embrace her appearance as a source of strength. She doesn't see her skin as a limitation, but as something to be celebrated. Through her platform, Florence inspires young people around the world to be proud of who they are and to recognize beauty in all its forms. When Kaylee Motes turned 18, she received a diagnosis that would change her life forever. She was born without a uterus, cervix, or vaginal canal. The condition is called Mayer-Rokitansky-Kuster-Hauser, or MRKH syndrome, which affects roughly 1 in 5,000 women, but is rarely talked about. Outwardly, there was no indication anything was unusual. She developed normally, had female chromosomes, and only discovered something was wrong when she never got her period. A medical exam revealed the truth. Her internal reproductive organs had never formed. She did have ovaries, but the rest of her reproductive system was missing. The shock was immense, but Kaylee decided to share her story in the media and on social platforms to help others feel less alone. In 2018, she underwent a $15,000 reconstructive surgery that improved her physical and emotional well-being. The procedure wasn't covered by insurance, but it had a profound impact on her life. Dorothy Eady wasn't just fascinated by ancient Egypt, she remembered it. Born in London in 1904, she lived an ordinary life until, at age 3, she fell down a flight of stairs, hit her head, and was pronounced clinically dead. Miraculously, she came back to life, but she was no longer the same. Dorothy began claiming that her true home was in Egypt and that she was Seti, a priestess from the time of Pharaoh Seti III. As she grew older, she could read hieroglyphs without having ever studied them and described ancient rituals with astonishing accuracy. Eventually, she moved to Egypt, got married, and worked with archaeologists who were baffled by her precise knowledge of details that had yet to be discovered. Her most famous moment came when she walked into the temple complex at Abydos and immediately recognized it, right down to secret chambers and inscriptions that were later confirmed to be real. Dorothy remained active as a temple caretaker until her death in 1981. While spiritualists see her as proof of reincarnation, skeptics debate whether she was truly a reborn priestess or simply the world's most dedicated Egypt enthusiast. In 2005, the world was stunned by a story that sparked both awe and controversy. Hachla Tay, a caretaker in Myanmar, breastfed 2 newborn tiger cubs after their mother rejected them and formula feeding failed. The cubs were born at the Yangon Zoo but quickly began to weaken. Hla, who had recently given birth herself, decided to help. In consultation with veterinarians and her supervisors, she nursed the cubs as a temporary emergency measure, and the story quickly spread around the globe. Some people found it strange or inappropriate, while others saw it as a pure act of maternal instinct. Veterinarians confirmed that in emergencies, human milk can be suitable for newborn animals, and in this case, it helped the cubs recover and thrive. For H-Law, it wasn't about publicity. It was a natural response to animals in distress. She followed her instincts and gave what she could at that moment. Her story became a powerful example of maternal care that transcends species, and gave the term Tiger Mom a whole new meaning. This woman from Italy, known online as Signo, is on a mission to transform herself into a living cyborg, and she's doing it step by step. Her surreal appearance and futuristic aesthetic made her a viral sensation and walking piece of art. She's undergone extreme body modifications, including nasal reshaping, silicone facial implants, and stretched nostrils and lips. With white contact lenses and bleached eyebrows, she looks like she stepped straight out of a sci-fi film. But for Tigno, this isn't about vanity. It's about liberation. She never felt fully human and sees her cyborg identity as a way to break free from traditional beauty standards and gender roles. "People stare, but I never stop," she told the New York Post. Her style blends science fiction, mythology, and transhumanism, pushing people to rethink what it really means to be human. In 2020, 27-year-old Emily Brown made international headlines when she did the unthinkable. She gave birth while in a coma. The expectant mother from Arizona fell critically ill with COVID-19 and had to be placed in a medically induced coma on a ventilator. As her condition worsened, doctors decided to perform an emergency C-section while she was still unconscious. Her daughter was delivered safely and taken to the NICU, but Emily didn't meet her baby until 3 weeks later. When she finally woke up, still fighting for her life, nurses placed a photo of her newborn in her hand. After weeks of rehabilitation, she recovered enough to finally hold her baby in her arms, and today both mother and child are doing well. Giving birth is already a miracle, but giving birth while unconscious and battling a deadly virus? That's truly one in a million.
Megan Grannon is a 28-year-old teacher from the American state of New Jersey who has metatropic dysplasia, a rare form of dwarfism that affects only less than 100 people in the world. Megan is only 3 feet or 1 meter in length. Because of her length, Megan, who teaches in kindergarten, sometimes finds it difficult to explain to her students that she's the teacher, as some of the kindergartners are actually taller than she is. But despite her condition, she tries to teach the young children how to be compassionate to people's differences. Nowadays, Megan inspires not only her students, but also many other people in the world. What is perhaps even more unique is that she has a twin sister with average height. It's sometimes hard for some people to believe that they're actually twins. The world is turned upside down for a woman named Bohana Danilovic. Her eyes might see images correctly, but her brain changes them. Her brain causes her to literally see everything upside down. The name of her unique condition is Spatial Orientation Phenomenon. Other people around the world have reported similar things before, but they affect their writing more than their reading. If the woman wants to be able to read something correctly, she must read it from bottom to top. She works at a municipality in Usiz, in Serbia, and Montenegro, where they have made special forms for her. At her home, she has a television that is upside down. Bohana admits these changes may look strange to others, but to her, this is the norm. Can you imagine having to read everything upside down?
Imagine this. Your neighbors are birds, your vehicle is a kayak, and the nearest grocery store is 2 days away. Meet the mysterious woman of Budeli Island, who reportedly lived in complete isolation for over 40 years. While her story is often confused with that of Mauro Morandi, there have also been reports of a woman who lived alone on an island near Budeli. Her name was never revealed, and unlike Morandi, she completely avoided the media. Reports from Maddalena Archipelago National Park describe her hut-like dwelling, small solar panels, and a lifestyle without modern luxuries. She lived for nearly 4 decades without Wi-Fi, news, or income, surviving on rainwater, seafood, and island plants. Park rangers respected her independence and monitored her from afar. Locals called her the Lady of the Island, and rumors of her resilience turned her into a modern legend. The following anonymous girl, known only as Jeannie or Baby Girl, went viral on the internet a while ago, because in fact, she looked very much like Esmeralda. They posted several photos on Instagram, and since then, her account has grown to over 225,000 followers. Esmeralda from the Disney movie is often seen as a strong and wild character, but in reality, she's a friendly woman who helps Quasimodo. The photo of the girl, in which she looked very much like Esmeralda, was shared all over social media. Although she's gained a lot of fame, she prefers to remain anonymous. Do you happen to know someone who looks a lot like a Disney character? Let me know in the comments. In 2007, Donna Simpson made headlines around the world, not just for giving birth, but for doing so while weighing over 530 pounds or 240 kilograms. That made her the heaviest woman ever to successfully deliver a child. At the time, Donna was pursuing a controversial goal: to deliberately gain weight and document her eating habits online in hopes of becoming the world's heaviest woman. Her target weight was nearly 1,000 pounds or 450 kilograms, and while critics were horrified, others watched in fascination. Her daughter, Jacqueline, was delivered by C-section, surrounded by a medical team of over 30 doctors and nurses due to the high risk. Despite the dangers, diabetes, high blood pressure, and breathing issues, both mother and baby came through the operation healthy, which doctors described as a medical miracle. Donna's story sparked intense debate. Was it body positivity or self-destruction? She said she was proud of her size and wanted to prove that overweight women could be mothers too. She even launched a website where people paid to watch her eat. In 2011, however, Donna changed course. She announced she was losing weight for her children, left her partner, and abandoned her dream weight to start over.
The next woman on this list is Sarah Gertz, a 30-year-old model known for her wrinkly skin. When Sarah was 10 years old, she was diagnosed with dermodyspraxis Ehlers-Danlos. This is very rare, and there's only 11 known cases of it. It causes problems with the connective tissue of her skin, preventing her body from producing collagen. As a result, her skin wrinkles, and she looks less young than she really is.
Sarah once admitted in an interview that her skin was her biggest insecurity. In school, she tried to hide her skin as much as possible, but over time, she learned to deal with it, and she has now accepted it. She now regularly posts pictures of herself on Instagram, and she hopes that she can inspire other people with this. Jocelyn Wildenstein didn't just have a few procedures. She transformed her entire appearance through dozens of cosmetic surgeries over multiple decades. According to some sources, the New York socialite has spent more than $6 million on aesthetic treatments and is considered one of the most surgically altered women in history. The media nicknamed her Catwoman. Born in Switzerland in 1940, Jocelyn later married billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein, gaining access to wealth, status, and virtually unlimited plastic surgery. Her first procedures began in the 1990s, reportedly to please her husband, who had a fascination with exotic cats. Jocelyn tried to emulate feline features, including high cheekbones and larger eyes. But it didn't stop there. She underwent countless treatments, including multiple facelifts, lip enlargements, cheek implants, and brow modifications. By the 2000s, her appearance was nearly unrecognizable, becoming the poster child for excessive plastic surgery. Yet Jocelyn insists she never meant to look like a cat, and that her appearance simply reflects who she is. She feels no shame, still walks fashion runways, and fully embraces the choices she's made.
A gymnast named Natasha Coates had it all, but at the age of 18, stomach issues began to affect the quality of her life. It soon became clear that she was allergic to everything. This includes everything from certain foods to her own hair and tears. When her allergies hit, she never knew if they would be mild or if she would have to be taken to the emergency room. One day she can just eat something, and the next day she is allergic to it. When her hair grows, she sometimes gets blisters and burns her scalp. And when she cries, her tears leave a red rash on her face. These allergic reactions are called MCAs by scientists. One of the strangest things is that she can feel when she is starting to get very allergic. She then explains that her bones begin to ache due to the pressure changes in the air, and she experiences high feverish symptoms, giving her the nickname Weather Woman.
Jessica Cox is one of the most admirable people in the world. Jessica was in fact born without arms, but that didn't stop her from becoming the very first armless pilot in the history of flying. This accomplishment also earned her a Guinness World Record and tons of guest appearances on TV shows around the world, such as The Ellen Show and Oprah Winfrey. Jessica, who lives in the US state of Arizona, is also the world's first armless woman to achieve a black belt in Taekwondo. In her childhood, she had to learn to use her feet most of the time. This was really difficult for her, but when she was 14, she discarded her arm prostheses and went on living. Nothing stopped her, as she learned how to drive a car, and she can even fill up with gas. She can also type 25 words per minute on a keyboard, and she's a certified scuba diver. With all of her experiences, Jessica has also become a well-known speaker who has now spoken in over 20 different countries. Most people can barely wiggle their toes backward, but Kelsey Grubb can rotate her feet completely behind her. No special effects needed. This woman from Ohio has hypermobility, a condition that allows her joints to move far beyond the normal range. Thanks to her ultra-flexible connective tissue, Kelsey can twist her feet backward with ease, like something straight out of a horror movie, and without any pain. Doctors confirmed it's not an injury or dislocation, just incredibly bendy joints. Her hypermobility extends to her arms, hips, and shoulders, making her body practically foldable like human origami. While many with hypermobility suffer from chronic pain, Kelsey turned her condition into a performance art. She's appeared on talent shows, TV segments, and social media, astonishing millions with her rotating foot trick. At the same time, she advocates for awareness, warning that flexibility doesn't always mean comfort. She emphasizes the importance of stretching, strength training, and listening to your body. Though she looks like she belongs in a contortionist act, her message is clear. Embrace what makes you different. It might just be your greatest strength. Lulu Hashimoto is described as the living doll, and not only that, she's also a well-known model who has posed for several magazines and companies. However, Lulu Hashimoto does not look like that, but she's actually using a bodysuit, complete with a wig and mask, that is said to be made by the fashion designer Hitomi Komaki. Her dream was to go through life as a cute doll and move like a human. Lulu believes that she's a real girl, and she never goes out on the street without her bodysuit. This way, she wants to inspire other women to look like a living doll. Her bodysuit was designed to make her look as real as possible. Lulu also made it to the semi-finals of the Miss ID Beauty Contest, a contest for non-human characters.
Identical twins Catherine and Kirsty Fields from Llanelli, a town in South Wales, literally have a condition so rare it was named after them. The twins have an impossibly rare progressive muscle disorder. This causes them to have to sit in a wheelchair and have over 100 muscle spasms a day. At some point, they might not even be able to talk. So Catherine and Kirsty are the only people in the world who have this. Although doctors have not been able to restore their voices. The twins received an electronic speech machine for one of their birthdays. The first conversation they had when they regained their ability to communicate with the world was about their favorite singer, Harry Styles of One Direction.
Monica Riley never dreamed of being a model or gracing magazine covers. Her goal was to become so heavy she'd literally break the scale. At her peak, she weighed over 700 pounds or 320 kilograms and was well on her way to becoming the world's heaviest woman. She lived with her boyfriend Sid, who helped her consume over 8,000 calories a day. Her diet included massive amounts of donuts, soda, and protein shakes, which she drank through a funnel while lying in bed, with the ultimate goal of becoming completely dependent on others. Monica gained notoriety through interviews, YouTube, and documentaries about her controversial lifestyle. Many were shocked, but Monica claimed it made her happy and that her health was under control. When she became pregnant, however, she realized her lifestyle posed serious risks to her unborn child. That's when she made a drastic decision to change. She began losing weight, aiming to become a healthy mother, and shared her journey through fitness, setbacks, and emotional growth, showing that love really can change everything. An American model of South Sudanese origin. The reason why she has become popular is because of her beautiful dark skin tone. Yakim has become a well-known model over the years, who has posed for several magazine covers. She's also walked in several fashion shows, and the 29-year-old has almost 1 million followers on Instagram. She also had a sister who used to have dark skin, but because she felt insecure, she had it bleached. She later regretted this, and told Yakim that she should be proud of her dark skin. Yakim has also been given the title Queen of the Dark. Nowadays, she's not afraid of showing off her skin color, and wears brightly colored clothes, and eventually managed to make a successful modeling career out of it.
The next woman, named Michele Ruffinelli, is known for having the widest hips. She has a waist of about 40 inches, or 102 centimeters, which in total measures an incredible 7 foot 10 inches, or 2.4 meters in circumference. Michele is a mother of 4 and is listed in the Guinness World Records for the widest hips in the world. Believe it or not, but she had not always had hips in large size. As a teenager, she was athletic. With a normal weight of 141 pounds, or 64 kilograms, she did have wide hips. Something that already ran in her family, but nothing unusual. It wasn't until she had her first child at the age of 22 that her body began to grow out of control. Although she has embraced her figure and even started modeling, she still has problems. For example, she has to pass through most doorways sideways and would rather drive a truck than a car.
When people say they want to stand out, they usually mean a bold haircut or a funky piercing. But Amber Luke, a body art enthusiast from Australia, took it to an entirely different level. She tattooed the whites of her eyes bright purple and blue. Known online as the Blue-Eyed White Dragon, Amber has spent over $120,000 on body modifications, including tattoos, piercings, a split tongue, and stretched earlobes. But none of her alterations got as much attention as her eyeball tattoos. The procedure is risky, involving ink being injected under the surface of the eye. While the results gave her a reptilian, vividly colored gaze, they also left her temporarily blind for 3 weeks. A single mistake in the process can cause permanent damage, and Amber now fears she may have lost partial vision in one eye. Still, she has no regrets. For Amber, body modification became a form of emotional release and self-liberation after years of struggle. Every tattoo marks personal growth and self-expression. Extreme or not, one thing's for sure: once you see her face, you won't forget it. Asha Mandela is a woman who was awarded a Guinness World Record for the longest dreadlocks, and today she still holds the title. Her dreadlocks are an incredible 109 feet, or 33.5 meters long. And the last time she weighed her hair, it was about 40 pounds, or 18 kilograms. When she was young, Asha decided to never cut her hair because she believes her hair is related to her spirituality. She also starts to worry a lot when she notices that some parts of her hair have become thinner, or even when some pieces break off. So when this happens, she decides to keep these pieces, and over the years, this has become a large collection. Well, she does this once a week, and as you can guess, it's a rather substantial job.
Can you imagine not having a tongue? This is the case for Aristella Viana da Silva, a woman who was born without a tongue. She has difficulty speaking, eating, and even breathing is not always easy for her. Her mother said Aristella lived on the edge from the second day she was born. In fact, the doctors didn't expect her to live longer than 3 days. But she did, and she received a decade of treatments, none of which worked to ease her life. A daring surgery in 2 parts was what finally did work. The doctors enlarged her jaw and chin to make more space in the inside of her mouth, and her teeth had to have braces. The results were great, as she can now not only talk easier, but also chew better.
Most people learn to walk before they can even talk, but Chen Tuanji had to wait 26 years to take her very first steps. Born in China with a severe foot deformity, her legs were bent backward beneath her body. Her family couldn't afford treatment, so she grew up crawling. School wasn't an option, friends were rare, and her world was confined to 4 walls. But Chen never gave up. She was eventually diagnosed with congenital talipes equinovarus, clubfoot. After multiple complex surgeries and a long rehabilitation, something incredible happened. She stood up and began to walk. Her first shaky but determined steps on the parallel bars touched millions. It wasn't just about walking. It was about dignity, resilience, and hope. Today, Chen dreams of becoming a psychologist to help others with trauma or disabilities. She advocates for better rural healthcare and proves that giving up is never an option. The next woman on this list is Atay Aligadane, who comes from near the African Omo River in southwestern Ethiopia. This woman is said to have the largest lip disc in the world. Now you might be thinking, why does she have this? This is because wearing lip discs is a tradition in her village. It may seem bizarre, but to her, it's not only something to be proud of, but also a way to attract a partner. They believe that the larger the disc, the more impressive the woman is. As such, Atay is the most popular woman in her village, who has a lip disc of 23.5 inches, or 59.5 centimeters in circumference, and 7.7 inches, or 19.5 centimeters in diameter. So, to make a comparison, that's almost as big as a soccer ball. The woman was first discovered by an Australian film crew, led by filmmaker Abraham Joff. Atay says that she started doing this since she was 17 years old, and is very happy to be known as the woman with the largest lip disc in the world.
If you look at Mahogany Geeter's upper body, there's nothing wrong with it. However, her left leg, which adds a total of 99 pounds, or 45 kilograms to her body weight, is much larger than the other. The woman is from Knoxville, Tennessee, in the United States. In this condition, fluid collects in the soft tissue of one's body, causing abnormal swelling. Her family noticed something was wrong at birth, and doctors told her that her footprints were different as a baby. Mahogany's leg had gotten bigger because of all the excess fluid building up in it. Although it would not be curable, it can be alleviated through physical therapy and lymphatic drainage massages. The woman says that most of the time her leg does not hurt her, but that it's mainly the weight that bothers her, as it does take a lot of energy to move around. Nowadays, she dedicated her life to spreading body positivity.
In a world where identity is everything, Helen Schweizer stands out because she identifies as a vampire. And no, not in a movie cosplay kind of way. For her, vampirism is a spiritual lifestyle. As a teenager, she experienced what she called energetic hunger, and eventually discovered she wasn't alone. Across the US and Europe, there exists a real vampire subculture, where people drink small amounts of blood or feed off what they describe as vampiric energy. Helen is a member of House of the Dreaming, an organized vampire group with strict rules. No violence, no non-consensual feeding, and no theatrical nonsense. She consumes blood from voluntary donors via finger pricks or rituals. But she doesn't believe she's immortal or out of touch with reality. She holds a job, pays bills, and lives a mostly normal life. Vampirism gave her confidence and helped her heal old wounds. For Helen, it's not roleplay. It's a chosen identity and a form of empowerment. Macy Curran is another Guinness World Record holder. This teenager, in fact, has the largest legs in the world. Each leg of hers is an incredible 4 foot 3 inches, or 1.3 meters long. She's only 18 years old, but Macy's already over 6 feet 7 inches, or 2 meters long. This also means that her legs make up more than 50% of her entire body length. When she was 13 years old, the doctors told her that she would grow to be at least 6 foot 3 inches, or 1.9 meters. But as we can see, she has long since passed that estimate. Daily life is not easy for Macy. After all, she has to have her pants tailored and she needs 2-person XL mattresses to sleep on. In some cases, she can't even fit into a car. Macy says that being tall is quite overwhelming, and she's often stared at when she walks down the street. However, she wants to inspire other tall people, and so she signed up for the Guinness World Record.
Ting Hyphen, as we can see, is different from other women. In the beginning, doctors didn't even know what to do with the woman. After puberty, her breasts began to grow at a dramatic rate. At one point, they even became a problem. She was also bullied by her classmates and children around her. Her health also deteriorated, and before she knew it, she had gained 44 pounds, or 20 kilograms. The doctors worried that her ribs would be affected, or even broken by the extra weight, not to mention the pain in her back and shoulders. In the end, surgery was the only solution. Although the problem was not completely eliminated, the doctors did manage to stop its growth.
Valentina Vasilyeva of 18th century Russia holds a record that's hard to wrap your head around. She gave birth to 69 children. Between 1725 and 1765, she gave birth 27 times, 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. All of it happened naturally, and while some question the exact figures, her story is still listed in the Guinness World Records. She lived in Shuya, where large families were common, but nothing like this. What's truly astonishing is that she survived all 27 deliveries. No anesthesia, no hospital, just sheer strength in a time before modern medicine. While her husband Fyodor's name is often mentioned in the stats, it was Valentina who endured it all. She gave birth to nearly an entire village from one body, long before reality shows or social media ever existed. If fertility had a queen, her name was Valentina. Lizzie Velasquez is a 31-year-old woman born in the American town of Austin, Texas, USA. Lizzie has a rare condition in which she barely produces any body fat, so she keeps a very low weight. The heaviest she's ever been was 64 pounds or 29 kilograms, although she eats between 5,000 and 8,000 calories daily. This condition also made her right eye blind. Lizzie tries to be an inspiration to many people, and even has her own YouTube channel where she films her daily life or sits in front of the camera. She's even found strength to become a motivational speaker. As a result, one of her most watched videos has over 11 million views, in which she talks about how to best define yourself.
At the beginning, no doctor knew what was going on with a woman named Shanina Isom. Out of nowhere, the once happy law student woke up in pain. Her fingernails were growing uncontrollably from every hair follicle in her body. This incident was dramatically painful, and the nails grew to extreme lengths and stuck to her. It affected not only her skin, but also her bones and eyesight. A walking stick soon became necessary for her to walk. Since then, she's lost more than 198 pounds, or 90 kilograms in weight, and has had a number of treatments that were able to alleviate her pain.
Imagine waking up every day as someone else. That's the reality for Kim Noble, a British artist with dissociative identity disorder. Her body houses over 100 distinct personalities, each with their own name, age, gender, voice, handwriting, and even artistic style. Some of her alters are children, others are adult men, each one completely separate in memory and identity. Some paint religious imagery, others create abstract pieces, and their artworks are showcased under their own names and galleries. Kim's condition developed as a defense against extreme childhood trauma. Her case has been studied extensively by psychologists around the world and featured in documentaries, books, and TV shows. She even wrote a memoir titled All of Me. Kim uses art as therapy, with each personality contributing to her collective identity. She's not just one artist, she's a gallery of artists in a single body. Kim's story is about mental resilience and the power of creativity to unify a fractured self. Who is the most extraordinary woman you know? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.